Hello guys and welcome to today's tropical update, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Colorado State University's 2023 Atlantic hurricane season predictions. And it's for the ENSO El Nino that is about to develop. It's a pretty decent forecast, so let's get right into it. They say there is considerably uncertain as to how strong an El Nino would be if it does develop. So they're not sure how strong the ENSO region is going to be. El Nino, if a robust El Nino does not develop, the potential still exists for a busy Atlantic hurricane season. That's a given. If you don't have an El Nino, typically you get more hurricane activity. So let's move on here. This is their forecast here. And as of April 13th, Colorado State University is predicting 13 named storms and 55 named storm days, 6 hurricanes, 25 hurricane days, 2 major hurricanes, 5 major hurricane days. ACE is around 100. So for what it's worth, that's not, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And this is a new metric that they have introduced this year. It's called ACE west of 60 west. So anything 60 degrees going west. So for that, they are looking at 55 ACE. So that's about half of the ACE that they're predicting this year. And the net tropical cyclone activity is 105. So let's check out some of these diagrams here. Here is the Atlantic ACE hindcast here. And as you can see, some of these absorbed here between 1979 and 2021, you can see that, it's just done fairly decent in some years, but then absolutely terrible in some. So, because we're in April, this is going to be the least skilled. Obviously we're still a decent ways out that, a lot can change with these forecasts going forward. And as you can see, their Aprils have been, kind of half and a half here as that goes. All right, so let's take a look at. Let's see here. This is interesting. Here's the SST setup here, and as you can see, well, this is for 1979 to 2022. And as you can see, La Nina years have been pretty much, La Nina years have been favored more than El Nino years here in the past, couple of decades or so. So obviously we've been getting, a little bit less busy East Pac, seasons. Not that, they're not less active, but, we're still, fluctuating a little bit. And let's see. Here's the ECMWF hybrid forecast. So the ECMWF, this is one of the models that goes into somebody's hurricane forecast. The ECMWF is forecasted 15.4 named storms, 76.3 days of those being named. Hurricanes 7.9, might as well say it's 8. Hurricane days 30.7. Major hurricanes 3.6. Major hurricane days 8.7. 139 ACE. So that might be, that's probably overdoing it just a tad bit, depending on how strong this Nino gets. All right, here is the UK Mets. We are looking at their forecast as 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 2.6 major hurricanes, and 99 ACE. That's actually pretty reasonable. So kudos to the UK Met. Fan-freaking-tastic. All right, the JMA, we're looking at 14.6 named storms, 7.3 hurricanes, 3.3 major hurricanes, and 126 ACE. Now, Last year, JMA was all the way out there into space with what they wanted for hurricane season of 2022. Obviously, that did not happen the way that they forecasted it, but this looks a little bit more reasonable. A little bit more reasonable. Maybe bring it down a touch or two in the name storm department, and you're you're looking decent. Maybe probably 10 to 15 ace down. Pretty good. All right, CMCC. This is their forecast, and they're calling for 14.1 name storms, 6.9 hurricanes. Might as well round that up to 7. 3.1 major hurricanes, and 117 ace. That is also a pretty decent prediction from the CMCC. So let us go down. I think there's probabilities here. We just gotta find them here. Give me one moment, if you may. Uh, that'll be updated here in a bit. And predictabilities. All right, here is the predictabilities for each of the states that could be affected by a possible name storm, hurricane, major hurricane, whatever it may be. So we're looking at Alabama being a 60% chance of getting a name storm. Florida, obviously we stick out like a sore thumb. So they got an 87% chance of getting a named storm within 50 miles. Uh, South Carolina, 59%, Texas, 63%. These are some pretty decent odds here. So that is the Colorado State University forecast for this year. So let us go towards the ENSO region. We're going to talk about the ENSO temperatures here. And this is the NOAA Coral Reef Watch sea surface temperature anomaly map. And as you can see, at mid-March, we started to go on a downward trend, but we're starting to get some of those westerly wind bursts to come through. And those sea surface temperatures are starting to rise again. So here we are at April 13th, and we're looking at a temperature anomaly of 0.068 degrees above the long-term average. So Enzo is on the incline, and all we gotta do is watch, see what happens. How fast does the Enzo move? Does it slow down any? Does it flatline at any point in time? Because these, we're in April. Any fluctuations are going to start to matter big time going forward. So, at this point, there's no doubt that we're going to have an El Nino. It's really coming to as how strong does that Nino get, and right now we're just at the beginning stages of what could be happening. All right, so here's the NOAA sea surface temperatures that are the actual temperatures, not the anomalies, but the actual temperatures. And we're at 27.858 degrees above, the sea surface temperatures here. Got a little bit mixed up there because I thought I got anomalies on the brain here, but our current sea surface temperature is 27.858 and climbing. All right. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We're gonna go back to the Enzo state, but now we're gonna take a quick look at the Atlantic SST configuration here. And woo wee boy, is it hot in the Atlantic? We are talking 1-2 degrees above the long-term average in a lot of these places. Hello, that's hot. That is warm. Now, will we be able to rival the 2020, the 2010s, 2005? That is yet to be seen. But if trends continue, we might be on the doorstep of some of the hottest sea surface temperatures the Atlantic has ever seen. Because there are westerly wind bursts to come in the Atlantic region. And over here in the Western Atlantic, it's almost pretty much the same thing. We're about 1-2 degrees above the long term average here, and it's gonna get hotter. That is why this is my personal take on this. Yes, El Nino is coming, but there are things that are going against the Atlantic being busy, and there's stuff going for the Atlantic being busy. So really, right now, what we see here is the battle of the SSTs, pretty much. You know, if I feel that if the Atlantic SSTs, and this has been said in Phil Klotzbach's, stream this morning, if the Atlantic SSTs are higher than the ENSOs or the El Ninos, then the Atlantic is probably going to dominate. But if the El Nino is higher than the Atlantic, El Nino is going to dominate, and that's just, don't don't take my word for it. Phil said it as well in his live stream this morning for his forecast. All right, now we're switching back gears to the ENSO state, and look at these temperatures right here near the coast of Peru. We're talking 5, 6, 7 degrees above the long-term average. That is nuts. And this warmth, I think we're about to see a conventional El Nino. I think it's going to be coming from east to west and not west to east. This is just amazing. I've never ever seen anomalies this warm. Since looking at SST charts starting in 2019. Before 2019, I was just watching the Weather Channel and scrolling the internet for information. But now that I know these sites, this is the first I've ever seen it this hot at all. And this sea surface temperature anomalies are going to make their way west. And when that does, the ENSO region is going to warm. How warm? We do not know yet. A lot of models are predicting anywhere from moderate to strong El Nino. And, it's hot. It's hot everywhere. it's hot in the Atlantic. It's hot in the Pacific. It's hot. So we're gonna have to see the progress of that 1.2 region going west as the months go ahead. All right, we are back in the Atlantic side of things, and we are taking at the current sea surface temperature of these oceans here. And as you can see here, this 26th line is heading pretty far north, and I don't think I've seen them this far north, for a long time at this time of year. But they're getting there. They're getting there. We even got some sea surface temperature anomalies of 27s in here. Obviously we got 26s and 27s near the Bahamas. Getting into the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean. It's warming up. It's warming up. But I want to take your attention here to the equatorial Atlantic. Could we see an Atlantic El Nino develop? And what would that do battling out with the Pacific El Nino? This is another interesting thing here. Because, obviously, there's going to be a battle here. There's just no questioning that. Actually, you know what? Let's go back and see something here. Let's go back and see something. Actually, I don't think I have that, so we're going to have to go here. Bear with me for just a moment. Let's take a look at the... I don't think we're going to be able to see that here. Do we have... Gulf of... Yeah, here we go. Those are absolutely hot. Those are hot. Oh, boy. Let's take a look at the actual... Yeah, we pretty much got an Atlantic El Nino. So that's pretty much that's pretty interesting here. But it looks like it's going down a little bit. So we're gonna have to see how that all pans out going forward in time. All right. we're going to take a look now at the global sea surface temperatures before we get out of here. And the Pacific is starting to warm up, obviously. We got some, 28s, 29s. The ENSO region, we're looking to about 27 degrees Celsius. And, obviously we're going to be tracking the Westpac too. I'm typically an Atlantic guy. Obviously video-wise, I'm typically an Atlantic guy. But I am starting to branch out into the Southern Hemisphere, West Pacific, and all those other areas. And some of these places are the hottest, places on Earth when it comes to sea surface temperatures, especially here near Northwest Australia, where we have some 30 degrees Celsius waters. So it's just hot all around. But as far as the Atlantic goes, yeah, we're definitely cooking. The East Pack definitely cooking, and that's about it. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll be back here in a couple of days to check the progress of these sea surface temperatures for you guys. And until then, I will thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.